Okay, I'm here with my dad, who is a commercial real estate agent from Detroit, Michigan. He is what I consider very successful. Dad, I consider you a successful person within business and throughout life, but especially in business. How did you come to your current occupation of being a commercial real estate agent?
I got into commercial real estate because of actually the encouragement of Bonnie, my wife, your mother. Knew some people that were in the field that she had used to work with at Xerox and had been successful, and thought that coming from my line of work, which was in sales, it would transfer nicely into commercial real estate. So she encouraged me to try it, and I interviewed and took my exam, and I wound up with the best commercial real estate firm in Washington, D.C.
Okay. When you first finished college, you probably had thought of, what you wanted to do or what you were going to do as far as work. I'm sure that plan changed several times. Can you talk a little bit about the changes in your plan for your career and for business, how that went?
It's some interesting dynamics at work there. In college, I thought I was going to go to law school. And when I was in my third year of college, I got a little bit discouraged about continuing on that path. And I was fairly young when I was in college and didn't want to commit to that career for the rest of my life. So after college, I went out to California for a couple of years with some friends, and then on my own with another friend in Washington and California, had a couple small businesses. And eventually I opened up a candle shop and wholesale, manufactured, retailed candles for several years, and had stores in Washington. Went through 2 oil embargoes. Wax was an oil product, and I got caught in 2 oil embargoes and couldn't get my raw materials. And eventually had to look to something else. When I was looking to expand my business, I couldn't because the raw materials weren't there. So I closed down the business and went to work as an accountant in a large construction company. I had an accounting background in school. I did that for a few years, and then I decided I was better suited for the marketing side of things and went into a business of selling commercial communication systems for a local company in Washington. And I did that for 5 years during the divestiture of AT&T, so that was a good time to be in selling communication equipment. And then I moved into real estate after that.
Okay. With this class that I'm currently taking for business management, we talked a lot about using resources around you and networking and seeing everything as an opportunity. No matter if it's someone you just meet through a friend or someone that you have known for a long time but aren't having and using what they do for a living and helping yourself out and using these opportunities. What you already mentioned that you use your wife Bonnie helping you get into commercial real estate. How what other sorts of resources and things around you and in your environment did you use to help create your success?
Oh, there were many. There were family contacts. There were friends, contacts from friends. I tried to pursue without abusing relationships that could help, and a lot of times people just volunteered that when through conversations informing them what I was doing, and people would volunteer resources that they had if they were candle making in the candle business. I was introduced to the nationwide. I had contacts through my family at Dayton Hudson department stores, and that fostered a lot of good business there. In real estate, actually, one of the things I was when I first got into that business was we sat in queue. Everybody was in an open work environment in workstations, and you could hear things that were going on, and it made you a better broker by hearing a lot of information. But one of the things I learned early on was to work the queues and work your file. And what that meant was to talk to as many other brokers and to make connections and contacts and put pieces of information together. And then work your files. Then once you had a book of business, start to work the people that you had success with to network through that successful business. If they were happy with you, they'd be happy to refer you to other business and to keep up relationships. And that's, I think, one of the strongest suits that anybody can have is to maintain relationships. The track of a commercial real estate transaction can be years, and you have to be patient and to create those relationships that will last that long and prove your worth.
Okay. With any career, or with life in general, there's bumps in the road and things that you don't expect to happen. I'm sure with your career and other jobs you've had along the way, you've had bumps in the road where you didn't expect these things to happen, and they may have altered your course. Talk a little bit about how these bumps in the road maybe changed your course, and what you did to overcome these bumps in the road.
Well, I'll give you a quick case study. I was working on a transaction for a long time. I had a contact and a person that I've been doing some business with who was with the Army Corps of Engineers Real Estate Division. And they had a requirement for a couple of large laboratories, and they were with different branches of the military who were not talking to each other. And I put three different groups together who didn't know that each other had requirements, and then found a building that would handle all three that the Army Corps of Engineers could lease for them. In the middle of the transaction, the owner of the building was a large real estate business mogul who died, and his company went bankrupt. And the head of the real estate division from the Army Corps of Engineers called me up the day after, and knowing that it was now in a London bankruptcy court, that it probably would never, it would take a lot of, actually the building was stuck in bankruptcy, so it would be very difficult to keep the transaction going. And he left a message on my voicemail that said, "Lou, the deal is dead as can be." This was a deal I had been working on over a year, and it was 100,000 square feet. And for the next 60 days, every morning when I came into the office, I replayed that voice message until the deal was signed. It motivated me every morning to figure out what needed to be done to keep that deal going and to get that transaction signed, even though the building was mired